Greetings one and all to this week's episode of Tenno Clock. I am not Murder Dr. Loz.
No.
And he is not Xeno Gellion.
No.
We are here with episode 410 of Tenno Clock, and I am giving you the cringiest intro I could possibly think of while ad-libbing the whole thing.
We're only 10 episodes away.
What?
We're only 10 episodes away.
Yes. Yeah, of course. So let's start the show how we always start the show, with emblems. Cool. Loz wins.
What
Loz
have you got?
wins.
Oh, it's a
really
lovely.
nice Lotus.
That is a really nice Lotus.
Well, I'm sorry, yours is just like... Bong.
I love it. The last couple of weeks, I've been getting them while recording the footage, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool. Yep. Thunder Alloy.
Yeah,
okay.
no, I'm well impressed with that one.
They're both really good ones, though.
If you want to win 75 Platinum for your platform of choice, go into the description below, where you'll find a link to this week's polls, where you'll see these two emblems. Just simply fill in the polls. You don't have to answer all the questions, though. I mean, it would help with our numbers. Not the viewer numbers, but the poll numbers, at least. And you'll be entered automatically for a chance to win 75 Platinum for your platform of choice. Please make sure you get your in-game name correct, because if you don't and you win, well, technically no one wins, because DE will turn to me and say, "Hey, Xeno, we can't find this person.
You have violated the law!"
Yes, they are the law. But, you know, they'll turn around and say, "We don't know who this person is," and thus no one wins. This is like, so...
The platinum is lost unto the void.
Yep, gone. Right, so that's it for emblems. Let's jump straight into Dojo Dusting.
I was about to hit topics.
Not quite. So, just a quick one. We're actually recording this the day before the dev stream.
Oh, was it dev stream this week?
Yes, though, to be fair, all they've said is they're talking about quality of life improvements.
Oh,
and I'm like,
I'd be very interested.
I'm not quite sure how much is going to be like tangible.
Well, the key point, though, is as this is going live on the Monday or the weekend just following the dev stream, so just to let everyone know, we recorded this before the dev stream, so sadly we won't be discussing dev stream this week. We just only hope it was, well, we watched it and it was filled with amazing quality of life changes that are just going to, they just blew my mind. Did they blow your mind, Xeno?
Steve may or may have not been there.
Yeah, and that was amazing.
And they may not hinted at stuff to do with New War.
I mean, could you believe those changes, though? I mean, they're just shaking the fundamentals of the game. I mean, God, my life, the quality of it has just been improved dramatically.
Ghoul's Sword 2.0.
Ghoul's Sword 2.0. Yeah, so sadly, we're not talking about this week, though we have some cool topics, I think, this week. Yep.
Cool, yep. So, the other side of things is we have some Platinum to give away. So, we got
nice.
Riku7 on PC. John E. Walker Cop on PlayStation, Pugs 9005, it's over 9,000 on Xbox, and Nick Knight on Switch. You will be receiving 75 Platinum for the corresponding platforms, probably tomorrow on Tuesday if you're watching this on Monday.
Wow,
cool. Another good piece of news, which I'll elaborate to in this week's Campai Cast. We hit 100 subscribers.
Goodbye.
Not because Loz sent me a message and I shat my pants and went, "Oh God, we need to get that name as soon as physically possible." Whoops. Yeah.
So Loz didn't totally find some copycats who had the same name, even though they came out weeks later. Yep.
Yeah. Well, we got the name.
Friendly competition.
We got the domain names. We got the whole point is that we got the Twitter, though they still think it's bloody bot.
What Xeno doesn't realize it was all my plan to light a fire under his ass to make him work harder by hiring 3 people to make a fake duplicate podcast to trick him into believing he needed to work harder. All part of the plan.
I was actually on stream I was on Nazareth stream when this happened, and I'm like, "Nazareth, I need to take care of something." Are you okay? Yeah, no, it's fine. Hey, Xeno, have you seen this message from Loz? Yeah, shut up, Nazareth.
Deary me. Right, what else we got in Dojo Dusting?
That's it for Dojo Dusting. So time to get on to the war report.
I haven't got anything for this week, actually. The only thing I will have to be able to say now is that there was a dev stream on Friday. If you haven't seen it, go look at it, because sadly we won't be talking about it this week. Do you have anything?
I know I got a thing.
I guess Plague Star will be continuing but this is probably the last week of Plague Star. It's finishing at the end of the month.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Finishing Thursday.
Yep. Get your performers if you want them.
They're working hard on New War.
An amazing quality of life changes for you.
I've literally got no other details that they haven't sent me anything else. So yeah. That be it, yo, on the war report.
Cool. Sorry, I only just realised the connection that the war report is now the waiting for new war report.
It is. Actually, should we just rename it to that while we
wait for it to arrive? Yeah, the waiting for new war report.
Yeah, I'm actually renaming the chapter to that because I mean that's all it's going to be until New War comes out, because I think they're going to be really tight-lipped about a lot of things. So anyway,
maybe, by the way, just thinking on the fly as we always do while doing these recordings, because we're professionals, maybe we should have above the topics, another line that appears for the early sections to let people know what section we're on, like Dojo Dusting appears, and just as a.
What you mean down the bottom?
Yeah, between us on the cameras.
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, I need to redo the whole of the 10 o'clock template to match. Yeah, now that I have with
so quality of life updates coming to 10 o'clock soon.
Right, okay, cool. So let's move on to the topics. So hold on, I should write down the time first. So it's 7.
Another change coming in the updates will be Xeno's timestamps will be automatically done.
Yes, like some kind of maniacal evil bastard. Anyway, so topic 1: any idea for mercy kills?
Any idea? Isn't it an idea?
An idea for. I knew I fucked it up somewhere. I thought, yeah. Okay, so an idea for mercy kills, and number 2. The uncomfortable truth is that difficult content cannot exist until DE nerfs players.
I am so hyped for discussing this topic. I just want to say before we even start, because we don't often say this, thank you, Tobiah, for all the hard work you do finding these topics every week. And that one has got me chills. I can't wait to get to it, because it's an interesting topic.
Have you gone through it at all?
No, not at all. Not at all. But just the topic alone, the title has me, so I can't wait. So well done, Tobiah, and thank you for all the hard work you do.
If you want to jump to that topic, just go into the chapters and go check out what we say and things. But
no, you must stay and listen. I will have to go through the first topic before we get to the meaty second topic. Everyone else must listen as well.
Cool. Right. So the first topic number 1, an idea for mercy kills.
Mercy.
I like mercy kills. They're cinematic. They're insta-kill. They insta-kill bullet sponges. They don't break pace too much. Good stuff. But what if they were more unique? What if they had a little more utility? Unique and utility. Okay.
Let's see. Come on.
Rhino throws the Parazon at the heavy gunner. Rhino yanks the gunner towards him, causing the gunner to fall next to Rhino's feet. Rhino then curb stomps his face in, which subsequently casts the Rhino Stomp ability for free. See what I'm getting at? This would make mercy kills unique, a little more functional, a lot cooler. It would even allow you to have a total of 5 Warframe abilities if you trade out the right ones.
Ooh.
Okay. You instantly have feels. Tell us your feels.
Well, both good and bad from it. I like the initial pitch they're moving towards, because I was going to say this would be a great time to update maybe a few frames passives, because doing better mercy kills or changes or buffs with the mercy kills would be an interesting thing for a certain warframe to try and do, because then you would actively be seeking the mercy kills rather than just shooting mobs till they die. So I do like that. I'm not sure, maybe like Valkyria or Nova. I know they both need their passives updating. But then it gets onto the free ability cast, which I'm like, okay, I like the idea, but the one worry here is I'm aware when it comes to things like adding animations or unique things, it's, say, to give each warframe a unique takedown kill would be a lot more work. And I know let's say the animation set for mercy kills and takedowns is not the best code to begin with. If you've never noticed, just to tell people a simple point for everyone, and once you've seen this, I'm sorry, you'll never not see it again in the game. Go find something that is bigger than you and go do a mercy kill on it, and you will see how the fact it instantaneously becomes the same size as you. Normally, let's say you find a heavy gunner, a really tall heavy gunner on versus a tiny frame, do a mercy kill, the model has to be the same size or set to a certain size for you allowed to perform the mercy killing animation. So it will actually rescale it instantaneously, and then as soon as it dies, the scaling becomes undone, and it then just balloons instantaneously again. It's a similar thing that happens with the Grineer Commander switch teleport, where your character goes it's, yeah, these are old things in the game, so I know that's an issue. Then the final point, so I might as well hit the trifecta while I'm here. This thing to do with almost giving warframes 5 abilities, because I assume what they're alluding to through that is if you use, what's his face down there? What's his face? Helminth. If you use Helminth and play with abilities and put certain abilities on your warframe, you could then get the effect of multiple or effect of an ability that is not on your ability set or something through your takedown. I think that's what they're trying to allude to there. I'm not sure how, but yeah. All right, that's it. You'll go.
This does feel a bit like that ability thing feels like an additional level of power creep.
What? Huh.
Yeah, no, because...
Pause you for a sec. Pause you, not the footage, I'm pausing your thinking. Have you used the mercy kill system since they did the change?
No.
Really? Do you know how it works now?
Yes, isn't it like specific enemies that... it's only things like the heavy gunners...
Yes, and Xmas units. Heavy big things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's always guaranteed on those enemies. It doesn't appear on the chaff enemies anymore.
Yeah.
It's also percentage based of their health. You can influence that by, you can increase the window of opportunity, but it's an outright insta kill. Like, you know, you just, murderize them.
But you say you haven't used it much.
I have not used it.
Because I have used it a bit, and you see it in the footage. I really like it. I haven't really pushed it. I bet you in Steel Path this can be a godsend on certain mobs, because you're like, oh no.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's a case of I've not used it only because realistically I'm taking a break from Warframe until the new war comes out. So yeah, I can easily envision that how it's implemented. I take your word for it entirely. It's great, but yeah, I just haven't been in the game to experience it for myself.
Fair enough. So, back to your thing about how it's a power creep.
Right. So I feel it's a bit power creepy because of the whole you're getting a 5th ability, right? So if you replace what's his name? Rhino's Stomp with another Helminth ability, right? Then you can still keep Stomp with mercy kills, right? That bit I dislike. The free ability I'm down for.
Yeah.
Not having 5 abilities. I'm
so
not down
if
for
you so you're going to put the added feature that if you remove the signature takedown ability of the Warframe through the Helminth system, you lose the functionality through the mercy kill.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
The animation can remain, like, to be honest, to make Dee's life easier, I would have it that you have a temporary buff where you have a free ability cast, and it can be whatever one of your abilities you want to cast. Yeah.
I do kind of prefer the thematic point they're getting at here. But then you're saying, but that it's a lot of animation. So you're just saying, or you're just saying in general that add to the mercy kill a chance at free casting abilities afterwards.
No. Instead of actually having this one signature ability that goes off with the mercy kill,
yeah,
have it because okay, what would Loki's be?
It would be he makes a clone above the enemy and then switch teleports and then slams down and kills it.
So there's just a random decoy in the environment.
Yes, but it draws all the aggro. Yeah, but it is just a decoy. So, yeah. I know what you see.
Okay. Yeah. So what would you do for Oberon? Less for Oberon, it would be his reckoning, or it would be, it just suddenly becomes a lot harder. There's so many warframes, it's really difficult to tie the ability into.
The thing is, I get you on this, and it makes it so every new warframe is more work because it's another thing they need to make for each a custom thing for each new warframe, let alone adding them for the past warframe. So I can't get, I know, that's why I agree on that. What do you think about my point about adding a warframe's passive to be more linked in with mercy kills? I'm not sure if it should be every warframe, or it should be modded, or it should be a unique thing to certain warframes. But I don't know, maybe what's Gara's passive?
I don't know, something to do with glass. She makes
glass. Not Gara, sorry. Garuda.
Oh damn it! I actually knew this. Wasn't it the? Oh god, the something to do with her energy. Damn it! I knew this one. Warframe Wiki Garuda. Damn it! I actually genuinely knew what this was.
So all the Garuda mains are like, oh my god, guys, how do you not know what my Garuda's passive is? Oh my god, you guys suck.
Passive.
What is that?
Wait, does she have multiple passives?
Probably. She could be one of these ones with a very complex, cool passive. So, I haven't played Garuda, which I really should.
The less health that Garuda has, the more damage she inflicts. Garuda gains 100% damage bonus for her abilities and weapons the closer she is to death. So there's a mod which is like, instead of taking fatal damage, you take energy damage.
Yeah.
And as a result, you can live at no health.
Yeah.
Then there's Garuda's talons when you don't have a melee weapon equipped. She has her talons instead. And then she's got a rank bonus. Unlike most warframes, when Garuda ranks up, she receives a special set of rank bonuses, which are indicated at the top left of the warframe upgrade screen. So energy capacity at rank respectively. So I think G pool increases a lot more or something. I'm not.
So her energy capacity increases more per rank as an additional bonus, more than just the basic frame increases. Okay, maybe not that. I mean, I'm trying to think. Maybe an assassin-y frame. What's Loki's?
Ash. Loki. Loki is he can hold on to the wall longer.
Loki. Let's give it to Loki. That's perfect. I mean, I know the wall latch is an interesting one, but really doesn't make much sense, does it now? How about we also add in that, I don't know, stacking damage buff for every mercy kill? It means if you're playing Loki, you actually want to hunt down people to mercy kill. It'd be interesting. Make it more of an assassin.
I would say more damage while stealth.
Yeah, okay. And it resets, something like that. It sounds like a thing. I'm sure people in the comments, we'll leave it over to people in the comments to come up with a better idea than what we've got. But Ash's is to do with slash damage, isn't it? Or slash procs?
Oh, I'm not entirely sure.
Any slash procs inflicted by Ash deal 25% more damage to last 50% longer. Bleed duration bonus stacks additively with saturation mods. I mean, I don't know which one's a decent one, but so adding it to Warframe as a passive could be cool. What about more mods to affect mercy kills, or making it a mod like stealth damage while, because any frame can in theory stealth through companions.
So just go over again what you're trying to say here. Because
so I said about making it a Warframe ability, a passive.
Yeah.
Or should there be mods to do with mercy kills?
I think there should be mods to do with mercy kills.
And not just more damage or whatever. I mean buffs that go on, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like...
it's probably an arcane that I don't know about, isn't it? Yeah. No, there may be. If I've forgotten some arcane, then I can never remember all the bloody arcane, so there's that. But I don't know, I think more mods would be interesting. That give you things and make you do things. Because it's so... it makes you want to hunt down the mini-bosses now, if that makes sense. I still don't feel things like Heavy Gunners and Xmas. Yeah, that's what Xmas were originally supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
Remember. So on Steel Path, I assume they actually, some can actually feel pretty tough, like Nox feel pretty tough. But now actually you want to hunt them down and you want to mercy kill them. So, I don't know, maybe a mod would do.
I think one thing that would potentially be nice is maybe look at a new small set of aura mods that do things on mercy kills.
Ooh.
So it's not just for you, it's for your team. So you could go like, oh, here's a giant energy boost on mercy kill, and like all your team get the energy boost when you mercy kill something. So if the whole team has it, then it's pretty much guaranteed to have constant energy. But again, it could be like a shield, like you get an armor boost for a short period of time. You could get, your shields could get topped off, or you could get over shields. It's stuff like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is why I'm just gonna try and get a
I'd probably try and avoid what's the name of the damn thing? A heal. I think a heal may be too much, but it's all bloody numbers. It's trying to work out what's suitable and what's not suitable. Because now I'm thinking, but if you give them energy, then that'll allow them to heal more. And but like. It's
right. This is where, there's already Parazon mods with it. I'm like, all the people from 5 minutes ago, I'm very sorry. You've been like, God, these guys don't know anything. There's Parazon mods for mercy kills. So, do you know them? Did you know there was Parazon mods?
No.
Shall I go through them?
If you want.
What we've got at the moment. So we've got mercy kill refills primary and secondary magazine by 100%.
Whoa.
Can we have that again, please?
Ooh.
We've got Blood for Energy, 50% chance to drop an energy orb on mercy kill.
I have that ability too. It's called Necros.
Blood for Life, 100% chance to drop a health orb on mercy kill.
I also have that. It's called Oberon.
Hit and Run, plus 60% parkour speed after a mercy for 12 seconds.
I mean, I kind of want to make a joke about Gauss then. And Roadrunner, but
Out of sight, blind enemies within 18 meters on mercy. God, where's that drop? That's cool.
What's the radial blind on Excalibur? What's the length of that?
What, the range or the time?
No, the range. Sorry,
I think it's
said
about,
length, which was a stupid number.
I think it's about 20-30 meters, but it doesn't say. Oh, it's a 5-second duration. That's not bad. It's not bad. Does anything compare it to? I'd have to look it up to get the stats on Radial Blind. I just cast it. I don't know how it works. We've also got Hard Reset, which is... It's going to load.
Come along and press Alt F4.
Execute 3 mercy kills within 40 seconds to revive a fallen sentinel or companion.
Okay, that's dope.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
I like that one.
Nice.
That's yeah.
Malicious Code, 50% chance for enemies within 15 meters to cower in fear for 8 seconds.
I mean, do they run away or do they just stay still?
No, they're going to stay still. Power Drain, 100% chance for next ability cast to gain 50% ability strength.
Okay, again, I like that one.
And the final one, is Swift Mercy. Oh, speed on Mercy Kill increased by 50%.
That's kind of useful.
So it's just the animation speeds up, yeah. Now, my only issue is, I can't remember how many slots you have. You only have like 3 slots for these things? Or are they sharing the same slots? I can't remember.
No, I'm pretty... I don't know. I've never tried actually. No, I think you've only got 3 slots.
Yep, and here's the arcanes. There was arcanes. Yeah, so arcane. I knew there was one for invisibility. That's where my invisibility was. So arcane trickery, arcane enhancement provides a chance to grant Warframe invisibility for a short time upon performing a standing melee finisher kill, and that counts as a finisher kill for melee. The Parazon counts as a melee weapon for that.
Okay.
And I know there's another one. There's probably more, but there's 2 listed here. Arcane ultimatum. Arcane ultimatum. Upon performing a melee finisher kill, provides a chance to increase Warframe armor for a short time.
Here's more armor.
So there is mods for it, though you're very limited the amount of mods you can equip. There are arcanes for it, but they're very limited the amount of the arcanes you can equip and what they do. Yay, armor! I know some people probably swear by that, but I hate armor as a stat. I really do. Just have health.
Why?
Oh, because the whole... I don't know how it is now, but when the whole meta was just like, no shields, stack armor. It's like, right. Right, so I'm just supposed to let my flesh be... Oh, yep, there goes my... Oh, there goes... Yep.
You gotta get tougher flesh.
It's like, I don't know, I always prefer things like with first-person shooters where you balance your health and your shields, and your health is like a limited resource which is hard to regenerate, but your shield is something you'll pause occasionally to hide away for a second, get those shields back before you dip into combat again. Warframe is just like, I don't know, bars. Yeah, but anyway, so...
I'd be mean and say Halo player.
So there already is these things in place, so my thing talking about it is kind of mute, apart from giving a Warframe a passive on it, which I still think's pretty good. Do you think we need more though? So I've read out that list. Moot. I said mute. It should have been moot.
Okay.
Don't bad laws. So I read out that list. Do you think there could be more? Because those are quite limited. Things like gain an orb. Yay.
Yeah, no, I do think some of them are a bit... I mean, we got Warframes for those.
Yeah.
And especially when some, like...
I like the one about regenerating a companion. That's kind of cool.
We
but
also have pizzas for some of those.
Yes.
Like, I need energy pizza.
But they still work in things like... Apparently that still works in arbitrations and Steel Path, not limited by the Steel Path thing. So you could... get more. It's in addition to.
Do you know what else I could do? I could take Hunter Adrenaline.
Yeah.
And Rage. And never worry about energy ever.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that makes it like, oh, why bother with shields? Because I need to take health damage to generate free energy. That makes sense. I like being shot with bullets.
I think a lot of the problem is that
it gives me energy.
The game always falls down this hole of it's not about crowd control, it's about oh god, what's not crowd control, it's biggest damage, right? I need to do more DPS. I mean, like, look at, oh god, what was is it Steel Charge, the aura mod that gave you 2 extra capacity on your Warframe just so you could equip mods, and it's like, what the fuck even? Yeah, it's stuff like that. It's just like, I don't, how many years was I banging on about corrosive projection, and no one would take it apart from maybe our community, and like after years. Scott goes, yeah, we're nerfing corrosive projection. We're putting an upper limit on the amount of armor that it strips. I'm like, I mean, had like, I don't want to be... Sorry, I'm not going to. If the community had come together and all just used corrosive projection, right, that nerf would have come in a lot sooner.
Okay.
But it's... but a lot of the mental direction, a lot of the meta direction within Warframe is how can I get my damage numbers bigger?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's all people care about.
So you're saying adding in a damage buff for every, just a pure damage buff on all sources for every takedown would be, everyone would accept this and think it'd be the most amazing thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, and like, I'm not saying it's the end of the world to do it, but I'm just saying, like, it just gets boring to add more and more damage to whatever you're doing. You know, I'd like to make it. Oh, what happens if I mercy kill? Everything within a 10-meter radius is radial disarmed. Yep, down for that.
Yeah, but then that goes back to the whole casting ability thing almost.
Almost, yes. But the thing is, they're talking about Rhino Stomp.
Yeah,
right?
Seeing as we already have a radial blind and a radial terror howl thing.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, but it was more an example than anything else. But yeah.
Okay, should we go to some replies?
Yeah, let's go to the replies. Let's go see.
Because overall, I think I do like my point is going to be because obviously, and I think I remember why I forget about those mods on the Parazon is because there's the hacking ones, things like that. Those are the ones I use, and I think think about it. Of course, there's only 3 slots, isn't it? Because you've got 3 slots for your Requiem mods, and then 3 slots for your normal Parazon mods. So it's a lot of competition for 3 slots. It's probably you know. I didn't even know some of those mods existed. I don't think I have all those. Right, anyway, moving on. So, replies.
Yep.
All I want from Mercy Kills is for them to stop having such a ridiculous amount of camera movement and leaving me at a dead standstill, completely vulnerable to all of the incoming fire.
No.
Well, there's a mod for that. Just use the speed up animation one.
Well, I mean, you know, you could always play low-key, turn invisible, and then do it.
Yeah, yes, you're right. So there's the radial blind one, and the speed up the animation, and they could also have the arcane to make themselves a chance to become invisible afterwards. There you go.
About is it the Jin? Is the Jin the aggro sentinel?
Yeah.
There you go. Take the Jin.
Yeah.
Aggro while you're mercy killing.
Sounds fun. I'd even like to see the exact opposite. Let enemies have their own animations if they manage to down you, but now with style. Well, that's what the Lich has got, and it was kind of a bit weird.
Yeah.
They still have them, though, don't they?
The sisters have them.
Yeah.
So this is like, no, I don't want to stay. Bye.
Bye. I throw you on the floor.
Yeah. But I kind of see where this person is. No, but like, I mean, no, I'm against it. I respect the idea, right? That's the word I'm looking for. I respect the suggestion that this person has put forward. I dislike it for the same reason I hate being constantly dragged along the floor by sodding scorpions and ancients. Yeah. So like, you know, if that can happen to a player using just regular enemies, I wouldn't want to have to sit there for any duration of time, even a couple of seconds, watching my face get slammed into the floor. Atlas pulling
a heavy gunner and landsliding her. One for Gauss could be him sticking the Parazon into the head of the target and mac rushing a short distance, pulling the head off and ragdolling nearby enemies. These things sound really cool, and it would be really cinematic, but I think the amount of work required to do it is just crazy. It's a lot, yeah. Also,
consider, oh god, what's the name of the thralls and the hounds, right?
Yeah.
When you have to do a Parazon kill or a mercy kill on them, and the number of times it fucks up because you've got a slightly higher elevation, or you know, there's a hole in the floor behind them or whatever. And it's just like, stab, dead.
You would have to literally make it that these cool animations only play against humanoid enemies, because otherwise it'd be crazy work. You know, how's it work for a mower? How's it work for the quadrupeds? What happens if they add more enemies in that don't exist in the game now? How would they have to use the animation differently, or would it just not do it? So I think it's a lot of work for small reward. Though when they go off, they'd be really cool, but I think it'd just be a...
But then it would fall into the same problem of Ash, right? Remember, like, okay, yes,
I remember
Ash's original Bladestorm.
Yeah.
But the number of people that got fed up and bored of just, you know, I'm just watching. I'm just, you know, just hitting 4, not doing anything, just hitting 4.
Push 4, watch cinematic. I would... Yep. I really wish they'd put the option to put that back in, because I remember... my brother really loved that, and he hated it when they took it out, because he thought, wow, I get to push 4 and look like a badass watching myself kill all these enemies. That feels really cool. No, you can't have that. Why? Because you're not playing the game.
Yeah.
My Parazon already does something similar to Excal's blind ability. So while unique, it might not be needed. Plus, as others put it, balance would be a worry.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that I didn't even know about that blind one. That sounds awesome. Yep. I want to see enemies get downed after they die and become mercy killable, just like the Thralls and Hounds do. That way we can actually mercy kill them before they instantly die.
So I think the problem here is that this player is trying to do it during like regular missions where it's still relatively easy to kill things like heavy gunners, bombards, nullifiers, whatever's mercy killable.
Yeah.
Right? But realistically, mercy kills is for things like arbitrations or Steel Path, where it's a huge deal to try and kill one of these things. You get it to like the right position in their health, and then all of a sudden you can just finish it off with a mercy kill. That's the whole point of. Well, I personally feel that's the main point of these things because of the whole how they scale up with their leveling. Yeah, that's it. Cool, right?
So before we finish. What do you think about the one change then? Because obviously I learned that there is all these mods and arcanes about it. But what do you think about changing the passives? What was your thing on that? Like Loki, maybe. As an example, it's just a suggestion. Do you think there should be more warframes with a focus or a passive on mercy kills?
Yeah.
I think it's an untapped avenue.
I feel like thinking about this. How many warframes would I like to actually swap the passive with? Like, Nova's butt fart whenever she falls on the floor.
That's not a passive, it's a joke.
Yeah, it is. It is a joke. And same with Loki's, I'm going to stay on this wall for, like, it's 10 times longer. He can hold on to the wall for 10 times longer. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just envisioning, like, oh, don't worry, Loz. I'm just hanging on to this wall. So I'll be there in a minute, Loz. Wow, I'm really not coming off. No?
I'm just bleeding out on the floor waiting for you to come down.
Right.
I should have ducked down on the camera. That would have been hilarious. No, but I do agree. It's like, what is Loki at this point?
I mean, don't get me wrong. He has like crazy utility and CC with his whole. Oh yeah, no one has guns anymore.
Right. Name another thing. Run speed. Name another thing.
The stealth option.
Yes, but not very unique. Name switch teleport. Really, just for trolling and for doing planes.
No. Don't let my trolling of people negatively impact.
Switch teleport is nothing but trolling. It's just like, what is this? What is it? Okay, and that's it. It's like that's all he does. Invisible, which is something other frames do, and any frame can do with a pet or arcanes and other options, and the focus system for that for invisibility. He can disarm people in a radial thing and make them fight each other with one thing. It's really quite a one-trick pony at this point. So yeah, I think giving his passive something to do with assassination would be cool.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. One-trick pony. Don't get me wrong, but I feel that the same with a lot of warframes. A lot of warframes these days are one-trick ponies.
Most are two-trick ponies.
Nova.
Yeah, what? Tank.
Molecular Prime. Molecular Prime.
Tank.
Molecular Prime.
Tank.
Why are you saying tank?
Because you can damage absorb up the orby things, can't you?
You really have to build for that because
yeah, but you can, right? I love that we said that. We give options. You can build for that.
No, hold on. The amount of damage resistance you get is dependent on how many orbs you have.
Yeah.
Right. It's not a case of you. Correct me if I'm wrong, audience, but I'm very sure it's a cumulative thing. So if you have 5 orbs, you get 50% damage resistance. If you have orbs, you have 100% damage resistance, right? it's not like, oh yeah, no, the damage resistance is divided amongst the number of orbs you have, so it goes. No, it's yeah. So you really have to make a huge sacrifice for that.
Yes, but I love how you could build for it. Like, nobody's going to build for decoy.
I know. Comments, chat, audience, come on, tell Loz how he's wrong with decoy. I couldn't finish that sentence with a straight face. Right, should we move on to the next topic? The answer is yes.
Oh, is it not an augment for Null Star?
No, the augment is to detonate it.
With the current, as of hotfix 25.07, maximum of 18 particles, a damage reduction of 90% is possible.
Yes, but you have to... God, what you have to use 3 duration mods in order to get that, and you can't take any of the negative duration mods.
Yeah, but you could build for it, and it'd be an interesting, different way to play the frame. You couldn't go, I'm building for Switch Teleport. No. I'm building for Decoy. No. I'm building for Invisible. Yeah, I guess you make it last longer, but it's still just meh. Right? That one trick pony versus at least 1.5 trick pony.
Okay, I'll give you the half. But anyway, let's move on to the next topic. Right. Okay. So, topic number 2. I mean, it's weird. You were really hyped to actually talk about this topic, and then you were hanging on to the last. Anyway,
right. It's all about the anticipation.
Okay, well,
must build up to it. Nobody just has Christmas every day. You have to want it. Want it so you can.
Okay, right.
Savor it.
Right. The uncomfortable truth is that difficult content cannot exist until DE nerfs players. You're gonna hit the topic button.
Now I'm too engrossed in the topic.
See, I knew it. Too high.
Go away.
Many annoying mechanics are implemented due to extreme player power.
Say it right.
Time gates,
low
drop rate.
Extreme player power.
Is it capitalized?
No, but it's extreme.
You don't get it.
But it's extreme.
Right? Time gates, low drop rates, ability immunity, status immunity, and such all attempt to get around the problem of power creep without actually addressing it. Oof. Player power has gone through the roof in both mechanical and numerical sense. Enemies in the game are either CC'd in submission or killed in a second, leaving absolutely no space for strategy or skill. Even if DE designed enemies to have smarter AI or unique mechanics, these will be promptly ignored in the cacophony.
Cacophony!
Oh, I say cacophony.
Xeno's favorite word.
Yeah. Cacophony of the one-shot weapons and 70% slows. Players are too strong, even for a power fantasy game. Sure, many players enjoy the fantasy for a while, but when you experience it every day, it soon becomes dull. Numerically, power needs to go down to lower this gap between new players and old players to a less extreme level. Mechanical strength of frames needs to go down to actually have enemies be a threat rather than an obstacle. The last time we got a mechanically interesting piece of content was the Glassmaker fight, where player power was completely removed.
Yep. So this is very interesting to me because this is like one of the, if I ever get around to it, maybe I'm gonna get a new job. So one of the first videos I ever wanted to make is that, yeah, and I rant on here about it so many times. There is too many sources of power for a player in this game, and they just keep adding to it, and they don't add niches or meaning to them. And I don't want to see things removed. I don't think even they need to nerf things. They don't make the scenario we need it for. They don't make the niche that it's usable in. A necromech is a cool ass tool. It's like cool. I was a bit like at first. Love necromechs now. They've got some kick ass skins. I love getting my art gun out and just going. Pop, 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 pop. You might have seen the footage. I just play my bloody necromech too much, and I'm just like, yeah. I want it on all missions as well, right? But from the very start, one of the first things I saw was like, well, but what's the Warframe for? And what's the necromech for? They needed to have a niche. The necromech is a siege weapon. It's I hate using Americanisms, but it's the quarterback. It's like, it's a bigger tool. It should have a reason and a unique job to do. Instead, so you've got the Warframe with the Warframe guns. You've got the Warframe equipping an arc gun. You've got the necromech equipping an arc gun. Which... What? No. Yeah, that's another question you could bring. But I meant as in, so what is the role that those three states being in mean anything in the game? Why would I use an necromech when I can use the gun on the Tenno? What? I know you could say like, oh, but then you've got the necromech abilities. Yeah, but I had the Warframe abilities. There's not like, you must use them. You've got to use these necromech abilities to this, or you need the necromech in this game mode to be able to pick up this thing which is just too big for a Warframe to carry. Interesting. So necromech does unique things. You could do the same thing for the K-Drive. That maybe you have to drag things behind your K-Drive, which you in a timely manner, which you can't carry because it's hover technology. It extends the hover field, and then it carries things that you wouldn't be able to carry on your Warframe because they're too big or too bulky or radioactive. So you have to hold them or maybe it's got to be in a zero gravity environment for it to move. So that's why you use the K-Drive's hover field. So it gives a unique job to the thing. Please stop anyone writing a comment, oh my god, I don't want a reason to use my K-Drive. It's just an example. Not get them implemented, just to enlighten you to possibilities. So this topic is completely right. But I love how they point out the Glassmaker fight, where it was completely removed. It's like, yeah, that's a very good point. So what does that tell you? Does that mean that that's how DE has to implement it? They have to come up with scenarios where we just get locked down and remove all these cool toys they've been giving us? No, they have to come up with unique settings for each toy. I mean, there can be a bit of overlap. There can be different, you can have a lot of variety, but that you've got to create the scenario first before we can expand on it. I mean, I'm not just saying like, oh, it is now this scenario. I must use this tool I must use the red key to get through the red door. No, it doesn't have to be that cut and dry. It can have overlap, but until we have those scenarios. And here's an example of one thing I was really hoping they were going to do. When they brought in the arc guns and you were to use them for the Profit Taker fight, I went, now I didn't like the implementation. That basically it meant that you could always have the arc gun and your normal weapons. I wanted to see you have to make that choice. You took the arc gun or you didn't. But it was interesting because it meant, right, so everyone has an arc gun, so you don't ever choose not to have it. So what's it going to be used for? Oh, it's going to be used for fighting giant robots and things bigger than us because it's a big gun. Makes sense. So our normal guns can't hurt monstrous size enemies. We need a anti-monster weapon, and these are the caliber of weapons which deal damage to that. Brilliant. Next Orb Mother fight. Arc gun's completely useless, not even for like removing armor plates, a section of it. Like, no, don't need that. Ropodopolist, don't need them for that. It's just like we had a plan and we abandoned it right away. Like, that wasn't what was wrong with the Profit Taker fight. That I had to use my arc gun. The problem with it is that just like, get rid of the mobs on the basic version. Make a harder version with all the mobs. So you're like, okay, so people can focus on the fight. They always do this. It's the same with Trials, but let's not go around in circles. Let's go back to this. So I think I've ranted for a bit. Tag.
I don't think...
I'm going to find me a drink. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep going. I have to take this helmet off otherwise. Keep going.
I don't think nerfing the players is going to solve the problem.
Yes, we're agreed.
I think that, yes, it highlights a problem, but the problem, I think, should be addressed by having enemies do different things. Your engagement with the enemies needs to be different. Like, I think it would have been nicer if, with the Profit Taker, you had to say the Profit Taker had a shield, right? But you needed to do, I don't know, big volley damage or something like that. And that's what the arc guns are for. So you have to get your arc gun out to do huge volley damage in order to take off the shields, and then to do proper damage to it.
I think armor plates make sense.
Sure. Well, I mean,
I suppose shields would be cool. Plates. Yeah, it could be like big volley just sounds weird, but I get what you mean now. Yeah, I get you.
Big caliber.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Huge caliber.
Huge impact force weapon. Force projection weaponry.
That sounds like projector. I'm gonna let me get this overhead display. Let me just set this up. Sorry. But anyway.
If we all just read this acetate as I write on it.
Yep. Right. As I become slowly blinded by this. Yes. Anyway, sorry. Where was I going with this? Yeah. So basically, there are different stages where you have to break the shield with the heavy caliber weapons.
Yeah.
It's easier to do with the heavy caliber weapons. You're not forced to do it with the heavy caliber weapons.
Yep.
Though I would like to, I think the player base is off about it, but it's incentivized. You've got a better chance of doing it with the heavy. So you could get through it faster with the heavy caliber.
Yeah.
So on and so forth.
That's a good point there. So, for instance, like it's why. So first of all, as they point out, they say one of the things is time gates, and yes, time gating is silly. The mob is basically, let's go with Vehek. He just floats there being absolutely immune until he decides, hey, I'll open up my faceplate to take damage now. In theory, he could just sit there with his faceplate closed and be like, checkmate.
Yeah.
I'm a computer program. I can exist forever. You're a human being and have limitations, So it's down to the mobs to give up, to die, basically. So that's the time gating. Yeah. But you make it that you have to break down parts of his armor that regenerates with the heavy gun, on each side to open up the faceplate. But you could do it with the weaker weapons, but it takes longer. What happens if it's like it's like shoot out the armor plate? You have to shoot around the armor plate with a normal gun, but with an arc gun, you just shoot the armor plate and just break it. You just deform it. But with a normal gun, you have to shoot the edges, enough of the edges to break it off, which takes longer. Because that's my point of the Eidolons, which were cool. But they make it like you have to use this tool. You have to now use this tool instead of having a balance like you're trying to put forward, which is better.
So I think Eidolons also have a perfectly valid place as they are now.
Yes.
The problem that I think players have with the Eidolons is what's a visual equivalent to cacophony?
Smorgasbord?
Smorgasbord. Is that okay? Fine. Like, basically, the whole point is it's a
plethora.
No, plethora means like many.
Lots. Yeah.
It's lots.
What's a cacophony?
No, it's audio. Cacophony is to do with audio. It sounds awful.
No, it isn't.
No, I'm pretty sure it is.
No, it isn't.
It's like audible cacophony.
No, it's to do with the mess that Drew makes when he puts all of his different Nando sauces on his chips.
A harsh, discordant mixture of sounds.
Right, I'll go add the other definition in, then everyone will learn.
How many Nando sauces Drew adds to his chips?
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't do that nearly as much anymore.
We don't go to Nando's enough right now. We should go to Nando's more. Man,
anyway, so where was I going with this? So I think a lot of the problem with the Eidolons is just the visual clutter, right? That happens on screen.
Yes,
with all the starting waves and all the shakes and things. Like, I feel that the Vombalists were part of the problem for the Eidolons, because you're looking up there. The Vombalists are down here, but you're looking up here. Very, very similar problem to the ads in the Prophet Taker fight.
Yeah.
Right? So I think, you've also hit the nail on the head.
The third person camera we have, you have to really kind of almost change your mindset. Either you're in the mindset of dealing on your plane and what's around you, so mobs like Vombalists or Corpus Crewmen, you're like, yes, that's what I'm dealing with. Or you flip it into, right, I'm dealing with that mode up there. And then you don't want to deal with, right, hang on, let me change modes. Right, there we go. I know it's just a camera angle, but it does feel wrong. I'd love to fight the Eidolons, also maybe in an area that's bloody less covered in bloody grass, because I think that doesn't help, with the low camera angles.
I also feel that a mob they could introduce is something more of like a kamikaze drone kind of thing. The speed in which you kill it determines like a kamikaze explosion. So you have to control the rate in how you're killing this thing. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
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 So you have to slowly kill something as opposed to quickly kill something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll just wipe you out.
They put
you and your team.
so the one thing's in the middle of the topic. They said is even if they design enemies to have smarter AI or unique mechanics. Now, yeah, the smarter AI one is just a bit of a misnomer. We've been over this years and years before. It really isn't a good argument to put forward. It doesn't make sense really if you really thought about it. But the unique mechanics one, I argue against. We've come up with some brilliant mechanics where it's not just enemies you just want to insta-kill. So you're saying you want where you want to manage the death of the mob. What about ones where if you just spam AoEs, the mob is immune to those? Like a CC. Yeah, a mob that if you do CC goes into active insane mode.
Yeah.
So you go, oh, wait, no, there's a super manic in that group. Don't cast CC right now, and then a Val casts the Bastille. You're like, oh, we're screwed. That's what you need. You need choices. It's about player choice is the problem, because we came up with those great ideas years ago. Was it years, months, a year?
Months. I think it was like about a year ago.
It was a good episode. I might go find that number and put it in the description for people to go view. Xeno's and Loz's ideas for mobs, which would counteract this kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, I remember your mining one. That was amazing.
What, the rock drilling robot with the rock on the back that you had to use the mining tool to break apart. Yeah, or you could just leave it, but then it would do things like it would do like seismic waves and things if you just left it. So it's your choice. Yeah. Either you deal with it, then you're gonna have to get your rock tool out and drill through its back to actually get through it to kill it, or you just ignore it, but then you're gonna have to fight with it pulsing out waves of knockdown every now and then.
I think
choice.
A lot of this. I mean, there's hindsight, as they say, is 2020, right? But I feel that had they this may sound absolutely ridiculous. Had they implemented, what's the name of the damn thing? A looking for trials.
Oh yes.
Group system.
Yeah.
This would have, I think, taken Warframe in a completely different path.
Yeah.
Where players wouldn't have resisted the idea of joining in a trial.
Yeah.
Where players would have learned more on how to play the game. Like, don't get me wrong, some of the things that they introduced in the trials did have quite a large barrier to entry. Right?
Yes.
But the big thing was, as soon as you learn them,
yes,
that's it.
And I know you said this years ago, the problem was you had to learn them in the trial. That if there was like the pressure, this is what I remember you saying this years ago, like the pressure pads for the doors, where you had to have two people standing on pressure pads to open the door. Oh, God. Why isn't there a one pad version of that in normal missions? Why isn't there a version with the whole pads with the symbols on the wall, like a smaller cut down version, maybe one or two symbols in normal missions, so that people learn it there and apply it in there? Instead, you have to learn while you're like, what's this? There's 8 people around. I'm all confused.
I'm not entirely opposed to learning it in a trial. I am opposed to being forced to fail the trial in order to come back later with a resource outside of the trial. Right.
Oh, the thing they had for the other one. Yeah, I was okay with that.
Yeah, I was opposed to that one, but
you weren't opposed.
No, I was opposed.
You were opposed. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the thing was, you were sat there for absolutely ages trying to work out what the fuck to do, and it was like, oh no, you just have to fail now, right? Like, oh fucking thanks, right? There was no chance to actually win it on your first attempt.
Well,
you fail it.
See,
right?
There were times when video games used to be able to have secrets in, and we didn't. I remember a comment I made recently that you didn't have to have entire game FAQs and wiki pages downloaded into your page, mind. If the game didn't do that, you were like, okay, but now we just scream, oh my God, it's bad design.
Butchering this reference. Right? I am fine
Yeah.
for there to be an alternative path, or like here's an extra level of boss fight to do, right? Or like, oh yeah, but now here's the exit because you can't go any further. But the point is, you had to hit escape and abort.
Oh,
right?
there should have been like if you all ran back to the start, there was a leave mission and you push E.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But there wasn't.
No.
Right. And that was a faux pas.
The game should probably, I don't know if it did, it should also have had like a voice line repeatedly moaning at you over and over. This acid is eating through your warframe too quickly. Something's wrong, Tenno. Quick, get out of there. This acid's eating through your warframe.
I think it says it like once.
Yeah, exactly. It should be.
If someone's talking over it, you're fucked.
Yeah,
right?
it should say it like every 10 seconds until you go, oh, I leave now.
Yeah. And I remember when I was playing with Magamu doing the raid, as soon as it came out, right, we were doing the raid and we were stuck in the first part of Law of Retribution trying to work out how the fuck to do the first part. And we didn't realize that there were cables, like, was it yellow or orange cables, lying around the environment, leading up to the container that you had to interact with. And you had to press 4 switches around the environment, but you just had to follow the cabling, right? It took us a stupid amount, I think it was like an hour to work that out. But yeah, I mean, it had a level of satisfaction as soon as, but the thing is, as soon as you learned that, job's done. You know to look for the orange cables now. Yeah. Right? And I do it now still with Warframe. I follow the orange cable, and I learned that from that raid.
Yeah, you in the plains or something. Yeah, I often get lost in a cave and I find my way out by following the pipes on the floor. Yeah. Or you can do it in spy missions. You can follow the data cables.
The underwater sections of the Sea Lab tile set. I think you're shaking your head or you're having a stroke.
Those don't exist.
Well, don't worry, Arkwing's going to be gone soon. So
it's true. Well, Sharkwing, yeah.
So,
but back to But sorry. But you're saying about trials, by the way. I just want to reiterate this point of the looking for group thing, because if D did listen to this, implement it, they would be like, oh, so that means there's just that version then, and you always have the looking for. It's like no. Learn from World of Warcraft. You have 3 versions. You have the Raid Finder version where it puts the group together for you. Then you have the normal version where you have to put the group together, but the mechanics you will have learned simpler versions, or most of them, in the Raid Finder, the Trial Finder version. And then you have the super heroic version where it's really hard, and that's the thing. We got those 2 versions. We needed an additional version that was baby's first trial. Instead, it was let's dump everyone into the deep end. Oh, and there's a toxin counter that's killing you all slowly. Oh, and there's terminals, and you have no idea where these terminals are. And what are you doing? I don't even know. By the way, you're dying. Ha! You're dying. Laughing at you. Learning. Ha! I'm not going to tell you a thing. It was just so.
You're dying.
It was silly. It was just like, put in baby's first trial version so you can learn most of the mechanics that way, and then in the environment you're going to be fighting in. And then when you move to the harder version, you're like, okay, I know that mechanic and that mechanic and that mechanic. Oh, but now there's this. There's an electric barrier in the way. I'd normally walk past here. Let me try and figure this one out. And they just have to figure out that one example, not the whole everything, and you're dying. Oh, and the second bit with the panels and the things on the floor. And you put in the Trial Finder version where you only have to do 4 panels, and the panels don't kill you, but let's say they give you a knockdown if you get it wrong or you step off the pad, to be like, oh, I shouldn't step off the pad. Not, oh, it kills you. Why did I die? Did something shoot me? I don't know.
I think my feel is, right, that when that sort of thing happens, so for that, oh god, how I would change that is if you step off of it, right, then you are the one that takes damage and then you die, not the whole team.
No, I disagree. The game does a terrible job of telling you what damage source did damage to you. The fact that you learned this by damage being taken was stupid.
The other half of that was actually, and then Vahek mocks you because you stepped off.
Is that what your example going to be?
Yes. Yeah. So it was going to be a case of the first iteration, if you stepped off, you took large amounts of damage until you either stepped back on or you died, and they mocked you for stepping off.
Fair enough. I think also the knockdown I think is important because it everyone hates knockdowns and it really focuses you on your player. And you're like, oh, yep, I've been knocked down. It's like, oh, what knocked me down? Oh, that knocked me down. Oh, okay, that's a bad thing. Whereas damage is just like, did I get shot by someone? I don't know.
Did Parkour 2.0 exist? I'm sure there was an overlap between Parkour 2.0 and Trials.
I'd have to look up on the wiki. I have no idea which came first.
But yeah, I mean, I could just... The thing is, the number of times someone, like, or myself, just go with myself, the number of times I get knocked down, like...
But I get up again?
While I'm in the air. Oh, I can see you actually getting the Thunder Alloy emblem. Good job.
Whee!
Yeah. So, like, the number of times that, like, I'm jumping through the air, and all of a sudden I land on the other side, and then I've just fallen over. It's just like, what hit me?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about most players. But I'm always bullet jumping. I rarely ever run anywhere. Right. Anyway, I think we differ on that last point, but
yeah.
Should we move to the replies?
So before we move to the replies, so I think we both agree that the goal is not to nerf players.
Yes.
Do we agree players are too strong?
Yes.
Yeah. And there's too many sources of player power. For the scenarios we're put in.
So, for the scenarios that are put in.
That we are put in currently. We need more scenarios to use those unique tools in. We're just not given them. The whole operator.
Yeah. So, like, operators, necromax, arcwings.
Yeah. So they said here, just before we go, numerical power needs to go down to lower this gap between new and older players to a less extreme level. No, I agree with that. Yeah, I'm with you. No, what they're asking is to nerf the amount of damage people with the crazy builds do, so there's not that much power gained by the player.
Yeah, it's like we are nerfing the sense of progression. The sense of progression in something that has levels and things like that is super important. Like, look at I personally say that the main reason I didn't engage with Destiny is because it didn't feel like there was any sense of progression, because I could still kill the same dude at level 1 as I could at level 20.
Yeah, no, right? for the majority of the... I mean, people can correct us because we're not the best Destiny experts, but for the majority of the time, the player power and versatility is basically the same from the moment you log into a map and start shooting people to the point you're at maximum level. The guns still shoot things and will kill... the time to kill on weapons is the same for base mobs and things. The only thing, maybe on bosses it's different, but the only thing you really gain is exotics, maybe exotic weapons that actually do something different. Like, I had a really cool rocket launcher. It shot like 8 rockets and went... It was really cool. But that's something I gained, yeah. So there's not a lot of progression on the player power and versatility front.
Yeah, and... I mean, yes, it's all a matter of opinion and things, but I honestly, Destiny, you don't start seeing that progression until you've put, I don't know how many hours into the game. Actually, to be fair, not that many, but you've done the whole single player campaign, and then, and now we can start getting your stuff. Oh, I have to come back daily to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I have to do PvP.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's, whereas things like Warframe, like World of Warcraft, like Final Fantasy 14, like, pick anything. Progress is made just by playing, and if you were to nerf that, like, people would lose interest really quickly.
Yeah. Fair.
Cool.
So, what? No, I just want to check one last thing. So we both agree. But we both agree that the focus is not on the player; it's on the enemies and environments and scenarios. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. So replies.
Cool.
Another uncomfortable truth. Our mobility, bullet jumping, and parkour alone trivialize most enemies in this game by allowing us to completely ignore them if the mission doesn't require their death. Even if they are more powerful than us, we just move by them so fast it doesn't matter. Teach the AI to take cover, work together, create cover, use nullifiers, throw drones, tackle us. None of that matters if we just jump past them all.
Completely agree. Do you know what a simple a simple solution to parkour is?
What?
A wall. Just put up a barrier. There you go. Can't get through this doorway anymore because there's a wall. You gotta kill everyone.
Well, I agree and don't agree, because I think just adding in tackling mobs is bad, because the freedom you've been given from...
No. They are saying,
yeah,
right? There is no point to add any of these cool, kooky AI things, right? If you could just jump right past them. Yeah? So don't bother with the AI stuff.
No, that's not what they're saying. Teach the AI to take cover. Teach the AI to work together. Teach the AI to create cover. Teach the AI to use nullifiers. Teach the AI to throw drones. Teach the AI to tackle us. None of that matters if we just jump past them all. As in, the past stuff. Even if they're more powerful than us, we just move by them so fast it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So they won't be able to make any use of nullifiers because we've jumped past them. They won't be able to make any use of cover because we've jumped past them. They wouldn't be able to tackle us because we've jumped past them.
But if it tackles us out of the air, then...
That's ridiculous, but yes.
Yeah, I throw drones, but if you're throwing a drone that knocks people out of the air, I get you on. Okay, I can get you on some of the other ones. I get you on the take cover, work together, create cover. That's all just bunk for most of the time. Use nullifiers. Nullifiers are still good. Like, people complain that they have to travel through nullifiers. So,
do they still complain?
Everyone complains.
We
I have a meme about people complaining today.
Oh, okay, cool. Was it by me? Because I complain a lot.
Well, no.
Okay.
But, so, okay, I can see the tackling one gets me. It's just like, if you put in a mob which tackle people out of the air as they bullet jump past, like, I think the Manic was originally supposed to do that kind of stuff. That would just annoy people. I give you what you just want to put up a barrier or lock a door, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was actually in the game back in beta. What would happen, like, you can actually see it in the Total Biscuit footage from years and years and years and years ago, where the door would lock and then you'd have to find, like, a captain or something in the room or make them spawn to find the key to the door. So then maybe bring it back.
For harder stuff, certainly.
Yeah, so what are they saying? But I don't know. I don't have a problem with our mobility, because if the enemy... I would love to see, I think our mobility in a scenario where there's loads of very deadly enemies, but you have to avoid them, is clever. But the problem is that most of the time the enemies aren't that deadly, that if you slip up, you die. You know, you have to wall jump, you have to wall latch, you have to bullet jump behind them and pause occasionally and use cover. That'd be cool.
I get where you're coming from, but the problem is that then there's no need to engage them.
But it depends what the situation is. Like, if it was a get past them quickly, like you're on a timer to get to the end of the mission, and, you know, if you don't...
Actually, one thing that I think would be good is maybe just harder gameplay modes. So, for example, you know, survival, right? Here, you know, take survival. Here's survival on steroids. There are no life support goobers. All you have is the life support canisters that the enemy drops. You have to engage the enemy.
Okay, yeah, that would be good for making you engage the enemy, but that's no different from an exterminate. I mean, it already exists in the game, reasons to make you engage with the enemy. It's no different from a capture. You have to engage the one enemy to kill it, to pick it up. I mean, but
there's still a fail condition that if you don't engage the enemy properly, you will fail.
That's fine. Yeah, no, I get you. It'd be a cool game mode, but I'm thinking that we need more different ideas for, like, why not make it you don't have to engage the enemies? Make it so that if you get to make an assassinate, whereas if you get to the boss without alerting enemies, that you get a special reward or something. Make what was it called? Was it Rush? No, what was the Arcwing game mode that would keep going and you had to get to a certain point and then keep going? There's Pursuit and
Rush.
Is it Rush? Oh, it is Rush. Why don't we have
no, Rush is like Rush. You would just get to the end. That was it. There was.
Oh, is it? Oh, there's no end. Sorry. I keep thinking there's an endless Rush game mode, which would have been badass, but they never added it. Didn't they? Why doesn't the normal missions have Rush?
Yeah.
And then add enemies that do knock you out of the air if you're not careful, and they telegraph their attacks and you don't deal with it and you don't dodge out of them and things, right? Then you do get annoyed when they knock you down, but you have to be able to be aware of it and react to it. And then why don't we have it? I remember one of the times, my favorite, I do remember this in my top 10 early memories of Warframe, one of the top 10 best memories of Warframe, is when I was trying to get Frost really early on, but I had to open up the Let Krill node, which was really far into the star chart, back on star chart 2.0, the one, the wire grid one.
Yeah.
Or is that 1.0?
That's 1.0.
And me and Rich were doing missions. And it was a sabotage. And then, back then we were not powerful. We were well up our depth. But the game activated the 5-minute timer that randomly happens on sabotage missions. And the trek for us back in that parkour system 1.0 to get to the exit, we made it with like 37 seconds left, and it felt phenomenal because we were like, wow, we're dodging because at the same time also what happened was it was a Grineer mission and the Infested attacked. So we had a timer. We were really worried by the enemies because they could kill us if we just got bogged down with them. The map was huge for us to traverse based on our movement system available, and then there was multiple enemies attacking each other. So it felt so cinematic. It was amazing, and I will never forget that memory of Warframe. Never had it since. But because there was the timer and we had to rush, it was cool. So let's have normal rush game mode. Why not?
Yeah,
that's the problem with the parkour. That's the problem is parkour is a perfect example of they gave us. So the original parkour system had challenging challenges, entertaining challenges to go along with it. The original void tile vault rooms were balanced off of that system, so you could, you would want to have a low key because if you used a slow Warframe like a Frost or a Rhino, and if you didn't do it perfectly, you failed that loot room. On the old parkour system. I mean,
a part of me wondered...
Sorry, let me just finish. So the point is, they added the new parkour system. They didn't add equivalent loot rooms based on your new abilities. They just left the old ones in. That's my point. Sorry, you can go.
I was going to say, could we actually start seeing, enemies that react differently to your parkour?
Yeah.
I think that's certainly a direction to take it in. But should we move on to the next?
What about an enemy that has a nullifier style size effect, but if you're in it, you're magnetized to the floor, so you can't jump?
I want to make it worse. you can jump, regular jump, right? But it's decreased,
right?
But if you try and double jump, or if you try to bullet jump, you end up landing flat on your face.
Yes, because it pulls down.
Pulls you down.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair though, that's something I've always complained about with. I complain about.
Oh, have I lost you?
Oh God,
something you've always complained about
internally is how when something is frozen, gravity is stopped apply to it.
Yes.
If somebody's jumping through the air, like an Infested, and Frost freezes it in place, it's just floating there. I'm like, you should fall down. That's not how gravity works. Gravity does not, it's special frost.
It's void frost.
It freezes gravity.
It freezes you relative to other objects near you.
Yeah. Clearly.
Invisibly. Yeah.
Cool. Next one.
The Glassmaker was, in a sense, a great fight. You had to dodge his attacks, which were decently telegraphed. The thing I didn't like about the fight is how it took away part of our mobility, which were directional slam attacks. Meanwhile, enemies in the rest of the game may have horrible telegraphing and an even worse hit range.
The problem I had with the Glassmaker fight was no sense of depth perception. Because I couldn't tell how fucking far away he was. Because there was no horizon.
You fail at spatial awareness.
It's a 2D image!
It's a 2D image of a 3D environment.
Yes, but it's like going out into space and then going like, how far away is that speck of dust from, well, like, you know, this football from you?
But you could tell if he had platforms behind him or next to him or...
No. When he was behind the platforms, right? Because, like, I didn't have any concept of how big this guy was.
But you just waited for him to smash a platform and you're like, oh, he big.
Yeah, so when I was throwing things, I didn't know why it wasn't hitting him. Because if I threw something over him or too soon, like, you know, too short, too far or too short, it always appeared in front of him because it was fucking glowing through him.
You just got bad eyes.
Shut up.
Yeah, overall, I didn't like the fight, by the way. I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, well, it's all right.
Because, yeah, the problem with the player power is that their only solution now is to make not just unique niche things in part of the main thing. It literally is to just cut off all of the player power you have and literally just restrict you down to these bare minimums. It's just like, it just, yeah. Not very creative, in my opinion. Right. Next one. No, I completely disagree. I don't want a play game. I think it's I don't want to play a game where I'm using my brain to take down enemies. That's what makes Warframe fun for me. Chill with a random squad, kill a lot of enemies, and have fun. I don't care if the enemies are just fodder. Destiny 2 does the exact same thing, but no one has a problem. No, but Destiny 2 has... Destiny 2...
I want to say something really, really rude.
Okay, go for it.
I think that speaks of the caliber of Destiny 2 players.
Right, okay, yeah. No, but Destiny 2 has bosses with more complex things. You can't just switch off your brain. And also, I'm sorry, I think this is a problem from you. If you just want to switch off your brain, then just go play Cookie Clicker. There's one job. You just click. No brain required. You just click. Oh, what have you got to do next? You just click.
What bosses do special things?
Well, no, you've got things like the enemies with the rotate, just the basic enemies. I mean, there is actual, they do raids better than Warframe did and actually have cool raid bosses with things you had to actually pay attention to.
Yeah.
I don't know them, I've only watched videos on them, so I wouldn't do a terrible justice trying to explain them, but I do know there's a little bit of complexity to it. This person's thing saying, oh, Destiny is just simple. It's like, no, now you're selling Destiny short. Like, even when you're doing the world eventy things, which I can't remember the name of now, the things that pop up in the world, you still might have to go until you've learnt them all. Oh, how do we do the heroic version of this? Oh, we have to shoot that mob. Oh, we have to blow up these vents when they open. Better pay attention to when these vents open. Oh, is somebody on the other side to blow up that other vent? Because if we don't get all the vents, we won't get heroic mode. So people do have to think. I think that's bad. Yeah. But also, I don't like... Warframe is fine and will always have the mindless game mode version of it because the player power just goes up insane. To say, though, at the peak end, I don't want to have any complexity. I just want to keep slaughtering things brainlessly is a brainless response, an excuse not to think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I wonder how Destiny's doing these days.
I don't know. How do you measure anything like that?
Well, if you have a look at their...
they're releasing another expansion, so that's not bad. They wouldn't do that if they weren't making money. Is it out yet?
I thought it was.
Oh.
I mean...
I thought it was coming out...
Came and
November.
Went, like, hold on.
Am I going to have to look this up?
No, I can look it up, don't worry.
Okay.
Destiny 2... Oh, what's it fucking called?
Just type in Destiny 2, I'm sure it'll pop up on, like, the news or it'll try and advertise it to you.
Queen... let's go for the not horrendously expensive version. February 22nd?
Yeah.
They announced this one. Well, wait, this is.
Normally they come out about nowish because EGX, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I was not buying it though. Anyway,
the last reply is: this is why I don't like how Steel Path is only just numeric modifiers, and how there's been no attempts to create more difficult versions of the basic missions, which is weird how missions never get harder, only the enemy level increases. Only Lure gets a slight difficulty bump with sentient interaction. Now, there's a fair point in here, which I've always felt was silly. It's like, you fight a Grineer Lancer on Earth, You fight a Grineer Lancer on Sedna?
Sure.
Ceres.
No, Sedna.
Sedna. Is Sedna towards it? I don't know. It's still just a Grineer Lancer. It doesn't do anything different. The same thing with like the enemies with shields, like Grineer shields. Like you should see different enemies on different things. Like you shouldn't see the riot mowers until Europa, or you shouldn't see certain mobs until certain points, so that by the end of the solar system, you see all these variety mobs. The game just seems to want to shove as many mobs as early on as possible. I think on Mercury, I love doing Apolodronus. You see it in the footage. Anytime I want to do a thing where it's like kill 150 enemies with toxic damage, I would just take an arc gun and go to Apolodronus and have fun. Or the Ghoul Saw in this case, I think you might see in the footage. But Ancients start appearing after like 10 minutes, I think it is. It's like, why? Why are Ancients appearing? They should be saved. I mean, I suppose you could say some enemies are saved for later on, but it never feels that way. Take a game like GoldenEye or Perfect Dark. I know it's a very basic example. In those games, you will find a gun at the start of the game, like the enemies will have, and you'll shoot them like Russian soldiers, or there's like a little submachine gun in Perfect Dark. I can't remember what it's called. Okay, yeah, but you'll get it early on in the game, and the enemies have it, and they shoot you with it. Then I remember later on, you see the same enemies, like 75% through the game, in a aqua submarine base or something, and the same enemies have the same guns, but they do more damage to you, so you feel the ramp up, and you see them use other abilities as well, instead of just being basic mobs. So you feel the change in difficulty between level 1 and that level 75% of the way through the game. In Warframe, they just up the numbers. That's it. They don't do anything else. They don't expand it in any way.
Yeah, in all honesty, I think this is. I don't think they've tried hard enough to do this expansion in terms of game modes or in terms of enemy interaction. I feel that. I mean, I've been stupid and silly and championed on Tungsten Path, which is just let's just make it harder but in different ways, right? Let's make it more challenging, more interacting than just mind-numbingly kill everything. Like I did Plague Star this week for the first time during this entire event, and I was utterly shocked to how easy it had become since it first came out.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just get my Bone Widow out and it's dead.
I think I remember in the first, I think it was the first time or the second time that everyone was like coming up with builds with what was that gunblade called? The Hespera or something? Coming up with ways to strip the armor off in different ways to try and do more damage. Different builds were coming out. I know there was the people with the bugs, but yeah, people were doing different things to do different ways to deal more damage to get it done quicker. Whereas you're right now, it's sometimes if you get the right build or someone knows what they're doing, it spawns, it dies, and that's not a bug. That's just so optimum. Just like we've got Rivens, we've got arc weapons, we've got Necromechs.
We've grown to that point now.
Yeah,
it's we are so OP now compared to when that content first came out 5 years ago.
Yeah. Right. And because they release it so sparingly, it's so jarring, the jumps in power.
Yeah, I mean,
and they haven't had a chance to date it.
I remember when, what's his name? Harrow was just so OP, but he was so, I wouldn't say difficult, but he was really super OP at the time, and he was a bit difficult to play, not massively so. But then now, because everyone just slaughtered everything, Harrow doesn't have a chance. Every Warframe just like sneezes in the general direction of the enemies, and then what are you doing in this footage? It looks like you're farming a resource or something.
Yes, I'm farming there's a resource that comes off the big nodes. It's these purple orbs, myocardial something or some or other, and I need them because I'm making Warframes for Helminth, and this one is for one of the Hildren parts. So I've just bought, so I need those things, those purple things, and you smash them, they drop, and then you go get them.
Surprised you don't have like a gajillion of them due to...
I fed them all to my Helminth.
Wow, Fair.
And they're not a really common resource, because to farm them, as you can see there, and unless you're doing, you probably might get them with Profit Taker, but I probably used them a lot.
I would have thought we got a lot from the what's the one begins with an E?
Exploiter.
God,
Yeah, I think I used them all up feeding them to Helminth, so I needed more to build things, to feed them to Helminth. That makes sense.
So yeah, no, I think we both agree it's not about squishing the numbers down, because World of Warcraft squished its numbers down a few times.
Yeah.
Like at least twice.
Yeah.
But the disparity between the player performance of new and old, like, a fresh character compared to someone doing late game content, it was exactly the same.
Yeah, no, yeah. The reason they did that was to just maintain the numbers not getting silly. It got to the point that they were just, I think,
doing millions of damage.
Yeah, but there's no point putting like a million. It's a tricky thing. Like without commas, a million, you can just about work out if you show it on screen for a second what was shown. A billion, it's really hard to work out. Was that a million? Was that 10 million? Was that 100 million? Was that 10 billion? It's at a glance when there's like 1463255. Yeah, so it's really hard. So it got to the point that they were almost going to have to start on screen. It would be like 1.46 M for a normal swing. It's like what?
Yeah. So they were talking about doing that, weren't they? It was either squish down the numbers, or abbreviate the numbers.
Yeah. They went for squish, because squish just feels better. Yeah, but I don't think that would work. Warframe. It's the problem is not the players at this point. It's it's the scenarios. They're so stale. I don't really mean, but that's the kind of word they spend so much time coming up with new things for the players.
Well, it's
not new things for enemies.
It's just plain toast. Everything's just plain toast.
Everything's just plain toast. Right. Well, on that note, we'll finish this topic, because I looked at the time and I think I've ranted on about this enough. I've got more to do, but.
That's it for the topics. Let's move on to the graphs. 131. Cool. So our first graph today is, as I thought, are you still running Plaguestar? 17% said that they hadn't started it. 33% said no, and 50% said yes. So
I'm no. I'd buy my former. I really should, but I just don't have the time. I got my Ghoulsaur, and that was enough for me.
Yes, I'm. I got the Ghoulsaur, and then as it says, did you pick up the stance as well? I was like, what? Damn it!
The only reason I would probably do Plaguestar now is just to build up some spare standing, so that when it comes back again, I don't have to do it as much when it comes back.
Yeah. The next poll was, do you think players should be forced to use catalysts and phylaxis like the Razorback ciphers? Right. 13% said that they didn't care, 29% said yes, and 58% said no. When I actually checked this early on in the week, it was actually like the majority was yes. So
I don't know where I've fallen at. I keep going back and forth. And there's some comments on it, so we'll get to that later.
Like, as I said, like I did it. You asked me this.
Yes, if you saw any leeches.
Like, there was maybe the odd 1 or 2 people in the group, but it wasn't the whole group. And even so, I was like, nah, I don't care. I'll fucking do it myself. Yeah. It's I want the 4. It's my choice. I do. The end. But I also was not in any way, shape, or form the only person doing it, because there was a number of times I got there and I got there too late. So, right. Have you? So the next one is, do you have all the Lich and or sister weapons? No one said that they had exclusively all the Lich weapons. 8% said that they had only all of the sister weapons. 38% said, yes, I have all of them. And 54% said no.
So I'm in no on that. But though that information does interest me, because that almost makes it feel like people find it fun and easy to get the sister weapons, and I assume the only reason they don't have the Lich weapons, despite they've had more time on it, that it's now stupidly hard to get the last remaining one.
I don't know if it's that or if it's down to the introduction to additional Lich weapon with the sisters.
Yes.
It might have been a case of, I've done the sisters. I've had enough. I've done enough. I've got to, I'll come. We don't know. So, I mean, if you guys have an opinion, please put it in the comments below and we'll read it for the next one. Right. The next card, four?
Four?
Was that? Yeah, there we go. Did you actively farming all the Lich and sister weapons? 46% said no, and 54% said yes.
Yeah, I'd go, yeah.
You're actively farming them?
Yeah, no, then. When you say active, do you mean it's my sole purpose in the game and I'm going to keep doing that until I get them all?
Yes.
Well, that's just stupid. You should never play the game that way.
So then, no. You are a no.
No.
I am also a no.
That's stupid.
I know. Right?
And I don't mean against people who want to play that way, but personally I feel just don't burn yourself out, because it's better to go watch my footage. I go do random things. I still want to go do more Deimos stuff, but I'm trying other things in the footage, you know?
I mean, I'm kind of like holding back on doing a lot of the end game stuff in Warframe, because when New War comes out, and if I'm happy and excited about it, I want to still be able to do stuff afterwards. And yes, I think there's going to be a legacy system after, there's going to be a system that leaves a legacy in the game. But, like,
if that's the only content you have to do, you'll burn out on it. Whereas if you have some other past stuff to do, you can alternate between them.
Yeah. Right. And then the last one is, should there be a token system allowing you to get the exact weapon you want from Liches and systems? Tokens will only be given after the Lich, so the death of the Lich/sister. I don't know why there was an end question. There shouldn't be a last question mark. But this was just...
Tokens will only be given after the death of a Lich/sister?
Yep. So
why?
Yeah. So 13% said that they didn't care. 13% said no, and 75% said yes.
Yeah, I think this is good because it means that people probably wouldn't always... Some people might go, oh, well, I want to upgrade that weapon, but I'm after the last remaining weapon I want, so I won't do that one now, and they'll come back to it, and then they won't see it. But this would encourage them to go, you know what, I'll do this weapon now, and I'll get tokens, because if I do 2 more Liches, I can pick the weapon I want. So it does encourage people just to go do it, rather than to go, no, reroll. Oh, there it is,
I need to see if I can actually get this thing to display like decimals, because like clearly what it's done is it's rounded up it's like 12.5 for both no and don't care, and that should be a total of 25, not... So we've got an extra 1%. One of those 1% has finally come back from holiday.
Rounding errors.
Yes. Right, okay, that's it for the graphs. We are now going to move... Oh, that's the wrong thing. This is the right thing. We're now going to move on to the supporter questions.
So first we have Zoogle, but before I read out Zoogle's question, I just want to ask our lovely audience to melee that like button and shoot a comment down below. And night assist the video to a friend if you can. It helps us a lot. Zoogle didn't use a funny font this time.
Yeah, I will say, Zoogle, if you can make sure you don't use a funny font like during the Camp cast, because I'm reading those ones out. My brain. No, please don't. My brain.
Zoogle also asks, why is there still no jingle for the war report? Gah! I'm only kidding with the gah! I know you're busy. Yeah, if Campai Cast gets jingles before war report, there'll be war to pay.
Does that mean we get new war early?
No,
committing to new
we
war?
get more war.
Fine, I will talk to Joey. Well, now that we got the logo, we can get an intro and stuff for stuff. So yeah, I will talk to Joey and get that sorted out.
Better be war report worthy. Not like the intro to 10 o'clock. That's too happy. That's not war report worthy. No. Thalian asks.
You know what? I'm gonna fucking send Joey to you. It's like, right, Joey, this is how the conversation is gonna go. Joey, I need a jingle for the war report, and it needs to be war report worthy. What does that mean? I don't know. Go ask Loz.
Just tell him more grim. But energetic, but grim, but energy. Grim energy. Energy of the grim.
Grimagy.
Grimagy.
This just makes me think of Power Thirst.
Thalian asks, it's a 10 o'clock before the dev stream.
Yep.
With the current topic being the new weight. There's not a lot for TE to be doing in the meantime. They've announced tonight's of Nabros event, and the dev stream will apparently focus on quality of life. So let's take your predictions for what that actually means. Will there be damage tweaks, melee and gun balance, more changes to Ureli? What could quality of life mean in this case? Well, as you know, all these people listening have already seen the amazing quality of life changes that DE have already released. But should we make some predictions, or what we would like to see?
I mean, a part of me is like, just go jump on the forums or the Reddit and see what people are complaining about. I'm gonna guess the Ghoul Saw. I bet the Ghoul Saw is gonna be Saw. Shit. I bet the Ghoul Saw is gonna be in there.
Oh, you mean it'll be put somewhere in the game, not just on?
No. I reckon there'll be a quality of life improvement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I think they mean more general.
I don't know. I think it's just gonna be specialized stuff. I really do. Or, we're gonna make this thing become more readily available, or I mean, I know that the giveaway, if you watch the stream during it, is what's the name of the damn thing? A Riven Transmuter or something like that. It's Riven. No, is it the Riven Cipher, the one that allows you to skip the unveiling process? So I really don't know.
I'd love to see daily focus cap removed.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the caps of daily caps on first Deimos rep, first Fortuna rep, first Plains rep removed.
Yeah.
I'd like to see thralls. Liches need to be brought in line with sisters in speed of enjoyment of play, because I love doing sisters. I hate doing liches.
Did that actually come in yet, or is that?
No, I have not seen that yet. Okay. I don't think it has. If it has, fair enough, but I don't think it has. I'd love to see that. A token system would be good for those. That would be cool. What would I like to see for Railjack? There must be some quality of life I'd love to see for Railjack. Oh no, I'd love to see, as Nazeth, I think, came up with the idea, get rid of the Arcwing missions and put the Railjack nodes into the star chart.
Yeah.
Combine them so it doesn't feel separate. That's the kind of quality of life that I was thinking about. That'll do. That's my pitches. I hope we get some of those. We'll get none of those. Or we had none of those. Wait. Last thing from Thalian. Have either of you realised that the only reason that DE hasn't done a crossover with Star Wars, getting that sweet, sweet Disney money, is because they would insist on having a Gungan pronounce Misa Prime?
Well, you can tell Loz has already died inside.
Thalian, there was a meme of that in the meme frame subreddit, and I did not pick it because reason, and now I've had to read it out. Thalian, what have you done to me? Misa Prime.
Right, should we move on to the community responses from last week's episode?
Yeah, see, like things like a thing that would appear. Yeah, so it says what section we're on. Anyway, changes are coming. Ivalo Popov. So most of the stuff actually were to do with the Plague Star. Ivalo Popov the worst thing about the topic about the stingy people on Plague Star is most of them are high on mastery rank. That should have a lot of resources. Most of them do nothing for the whole mission or answer, why should I? As said, when you don't contribute, the mission time is almost the same, but the standing is 4 times lower. There's actually no point of doing less. I contributed all 8 a number of times, but at that point, even my resources begun to shrink. You get from 200 of each to 100 of each to 0 in a very short time if you put all in 8 in every time. TLDR, I don't mind when low master rank players don't know, and I add for them, but when the majority of players, I assume, are master rank 28 to 30 plus, don't, it gets very annoying. When they don't, it gets annoying very fast.
I'd be really interested to know what platform...
Ivalov Popov? Ivalo Popov.
Yeah, I'd be very interested to know what platform they play on.
Grey Archon. Discussing players using zero-infested catalysts. Some players don't want the Hemocyte to spawn at all, so the mission gets done faster. Yes, it's less standing, 2,000 versus 3,000, but if you can complete the mission 50% quicker or better, maybe some people are bad at killing Hemocyte, then it's more economical. I remember last time Playstar was around, recruitment chat was full of people looking for pre-made groups with 0 Hemocyte. This time, I don't see it as much. I think this is as valid as any other way of running the bounty. See, so it's interesting that this is part why I'm twisted on it, because part of me is like, they should make it that every single person has to bring it. If they, you get different bounties and you pick the one you have to bring the resource into that bounty to. Maybe that is a fair way of doing it. But then sometimes I like the choice and the dynamicness of it's what people bring. So I think we're damned if we do, damned if we don't.
I think it's too late at this point, and we should just look forward to the future.
Zrugel says, I only had one issue with people griping about others not contributing, but that was because I equipped the wrong gear item. But I'm a little glad they said something, because I didn't realize I had the wrong item until they said and insisted. It wasn't the first mission I did since Playstar started, but it was early on. So obviously they're pointing out that it's nice that other people point it out, because sometimes you make a mistake. I think that's a good point from Zrugel. And lastly, JJ24. The topic of a pity system comes up often nowadays across many games. Should developers put in a hard limit for RNG or let the statistically unlucky be possible? If you do think there should be a limit, how many hours is too much grind?
So who is the one that said this?
JJ24. Why is there the word mercy kill? Weird. Oh, that's because I typed it.
I'm feeling this from two sides. One, Warframe, two, Xeno. In Xeno, there's been a huge decrease in the player base because new players cannot catch up to the veteran players, and it takes months to catch up. So when you start playing, you can get to 100 points or 100,000 points. In a couple of weeks? It takes no time at all, but then it massively grinds down, and then it takes months it takes a couple of months to get to 150, and then it takes like 6 months to get to 200, and then it takes God knows, it takes such stupid lengths of time and so much effort to put in. New players are just completely disinterested in playing, right?
That's catch-up mechanics, not really RNG.
Right, but my point... Well, hold on, can you repeat that question then? Because I thought this was to do with new players.
No, the topic of a pity system comes up often nowadays across many games. Should developers put in a hard limit for RNG or let the statistically unlucky be possible? If you do think there should be a limit, how many hours is too much grind?
Oh, I misunderstood this. Yeah, okay. No, it's fine. Just be unlucky.
No, the term is safety net. Even Siloannis has safety nets.
Yeah, but whatever D is doing now is fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't say... Well, there is the statistically unlucky, but I don't think for these systems it's ever been too bad. It's like, there's low percentages, but just go away, do something else. And actually, to be honest, I don't know, for most things, there actually is a safety net, which is you can always buy it with platinum for most things. I know it's not a good solution, but there is the option. You could just go farm platinum. I know it might take you time, but you could, and then you get it in X amount of time.
I mean, the big thing for me is the number of people that whinge saying, I want this thing now.
Yeah.
Right? It's the entitlement of... Like, I remember playing...
But something given has no value.
Yeah, but I remember watching a Twitch streamer on Twitter absolutely lose his rag over the fact that he couldn't get all of the lich weapons in a single night.
What?
Right? What? Yeah, no, seriously.
Sit down.
Right? We both know this person, but like I turned to them and said, "What? Do you not enjoy playing the game?" He then blocked me.
Could you say what the first letter of their name is?
No, I'd rather not.
Could you sign it to me with interpretive dance? You can tell me later. It's fine.
I've sent it to him on Discord.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, really?
You really?
Oh, really? Yeah, really?
You really?
Okay.
Anyway, right. Should we move on to... Was that the last of the community response?
That was the last community, yeah.
Cool. Should we move on to the memes?
Oh, better get up for the memes. Rise for the memes. So, we are now going to go through some memes from the r/meme frame subreddit. All the links to these memes are in the description, along with the secret meme of the week, which is a video, because that's where I put videos, because we only show still images as the memes. However, if you're ever bored, go check that out on the r/meme frame subreddit. Those people are hardworking meme farmers and making memes for you day and night, so go check them out.
Yeah.
Meme number 1. Yeah. All must-have mods in Warframe and how to get them. Warframe beginner mod guide, all must-have mods and how to get them from Xicto. 27 minutes and 12 seconds. Yeah. That's a lot of mods.
I want to know how many mods this person covers.
I'm gonna watch myself. It looks like a fun video, yeah.
Because I'm wondering, like, how much of that is actually just like, you know,
get ribbons.
No, I'm increasing the time of this video for ad revenue.
Yeah, or going like, so in Warframe there are a lot of stats that you need to increase, and it's very important that you learn which stats are that you can increase. If you put the wrong ones on the wrong Warframe in the wrong place, it could spell disaster for your Warframe. So let us not waste any more time and start going through some of the most important mods that you can find in Warframe and the stats that they increase. Like that, yeah?
If he doesn't talk like that, I'm going to be thoroughly disappointed. Let's go to the...
Do you know what I mean
meme.
by that sort of video, yeah? Yeah. Let's boil it down with the simple meme. We live in an economy. Who wants Former? Yay! Who wants to grind Plaguestar?
That's brilliant.
Yep. Meme number 3. Take a deep breath before starting. Me. Hacks a panel. The infested. I'm going to create an environment that is so toxic. I just hacked a panel, man. Why are you being so toxic about it? It's the panel. Meme number 4.
This next one.
These Grineer cosplays are getting wild. I don't even know where to start with that.
Why is she wearing a carpet?
No, she's wearing Grineer. It's Grineer fashion, man. It's Grineer fashion. That's where it's at.
It looks like a carpet.
Kuva, man. It's all about the Kuva.
Okay.
Right, meme number 5. As we have always said, an automatic secondary comes in hand in these situations. You're Gara with a 1 million Splinter Storm wielding a Kuva Brahma and a Maya. You see a blue bubble in the distance approaching you. You fire your bow, but it ricochets and staggers you instead. It is a Vapos for a nullifier running straight towards you.
Lol.
Yep. Seriously. Automatic pistol. Problem solved.
I remember... Was it the... No, it was the lens, right? Do you remember the Corpus lens?
Yeah.
The bow. Yeah. I remember firing that at a nullifier, and the shot came straight back and killed me. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Right. And the final meme of the week. When you think you've won. The corpus that killed me. I'm a motherfucking super me who just revived.
Lol.
Yep. That's what happens when you take me down. It's like, oh my god, I killed a Warframe. I'm a motherfucking super.
Yep. It's a good movie too.
It was a very good movie. Didn't do very well in the box office though, sadly, even though it was so good and so much better than the first one. Right, that is all it for the memes, though there is the secret meme again in the description of this video. Do go check it out. But for now, we will move on from the funny memes onto the super serious, super cool community shoutouts found by Xeno on Twitter, beginning with number 1.
So this is Nidus by Chicken Draws Dog.
Have we had them on?
No, I did reach out to them, but I wasn't able to get a hold of them.
Oh.
Also, do you want to turn off the memes?
I could turn off the... I should probably have that... We need to... Yeah, buttons. So I can have, like, combine them.
Cool. Right, so yeah, this is Nidus by Chicken Draws Dogs.
I'm trying out some new colours for this commission. What do you guys think? Let me just look on that. Oh my god, that looks amazing. I'd buy that on a comic, if that was a comic book cover.
Yep. I mean, you know that Chicken Draw Dogs did the comic book cover for the Year Rally comic, right?
But they didn't do that.
No. So this is Nidus by Neji 210.
Oh, nice to see the classic now the Prime's up. It's still cool. I like it.
Yep. And, Little Maggot.
I like all the people who tell me all the ways I play Nidus wrong. Hopefully I'll learn. That's always been my plan.
You Ate All That by Gamley. So this is a 2-image thing. So this is the first image. Everyone go into the description below where you'll find this community shout out and you can see the second image for yourself. It's awesome.
Oh, that is so good.
Yep. Who's the third one in the first picture? Because I'm covering it up.
I think we've got a Hydroid, a Sevagoth, and a Grendel.
It's the Sevagoth. Cool. Right. And then the fourth community shout out is Sisters of Parvos Ephemeras by Joriel.
Yeah, Sisters of Parvos Ephemeras, but I admit I'm around my 10th Sister of Parvos and I haven't got a single one yet. Oh no. Also Horns. Oh, I hope Joriel does get lucky in the future.
Yep.
They are cool ephemeras.
The fifth community shout out is a Tenno Gen Zaku concept by
Inerix, yeah. This is the first time in my life I refined my 2D concept instead of a doodle. Hope it looks good. It looks amazing.
Yep.
Which Warframe's that for? Oh, Zaku.
Zaku, yeah.
Yeah, that's badass, that is.
Right. And then the sixth community shout out is Duster Creations Gumley by Leonidax Zero.
Gummy.
Huh? Gummy, sorry, yes.
Nice. Is that a set? See, it is a Harrow, but it's not the Night Helmet, so I can't approve of it. But it's still awesome.
Yes, you can. Don't lie.
It's still cool.
Yep. Cool. Right. So that's it for the community shoutouts. That's it for this week. I hope the dev stream was good.
Yes.
I hope that, fingers crossed, big things.
Well, all of those amazing the quality of life. Just my day-to-day is going to improve so much. Not you, Xeno?
What? Yeah, no, that thing you said.
I mean, could you believe they just had the tenacity to put in that change? Change.
Totally.
Whoa. Mind-blowing.
Totally.